Hello, I am Orange Cat, and this is my analysis of Toonami's new schedule that will start tomorrow night, the 29th of September. And it goes to 7 hours, so the 7 hour challenge is now in effect. And I bet when we saw this Toonami get canceled way back when, I doubt we would ever see it back, much less see it extended to 7 whole hours. This is just it's a dream come true for a lot of people who are fans of Toonami, who love Toonami growing up. And now I'm going to look into and analyze the schedule for myself here. First off, they bring back Dragon Ball Z Kai. They are starting from the top on this one. So, unless they decide to cut it mid-run, we'll have something there for the next 3 or so years, maybe even longer. My Hero Academia is doing pretty strong in an early slot, so they only push it up 30 minutes. Something that I think has been able to show it can hold well this early, this time period. So I think that was a generally smart decision. It's not leading, but I think Dragon Ball Z Kai will really bring in the more quote-unquote casual Toonami fans better. So I think that was smart. And then we got the Naruto Power Hour here. And you better believe it, I guess. Where you have Shippuden, which has been running towards the back of the block since forever. And then Boruto, which was a new pickup, the sequel to Shippuden, so many years in the future when Naruto's son, I believe, is kind of going through like school and stuff. Then Dragon Ball Super used to be way early in the block. Now it's almost in the middle of the block at 11 o'clock. I have a big reason why I think it got pushed to specifically this time that I'll go over in a minute. Then Fully Coolly Alternative, it's smart to not move a show that's only going to be on, at least at this spot, for 6 weeks mid-run, to move it from its slot. So it was a smart move to keep it at 11:30. Attack on Titan pushed to midnight. It did really well in its first couple seasons when it had a later spot. It had an earlier spot, and it's actually kind of not done so hot. So that was probably them trying to mix it up. JoJo staying at 12:30. It's been there for a while. Then you have Black Clover ahead of Hunter x Hunter at 1 instead of 1:30. I have my opinion on that. I'll go up to a minute. One Punch. Then we hit the rerun part of the block. You have One Punch Man, Lupin the Third, Cowboy Bebop, Bebop, and Samurai Jack. Samurai Jack will be starting from the very first episode. It will not just simply be a run of the fifth season, which is something I like because honestly, the fifth season, it was good, but I preferred the older stuff better. So now let me analyze whether I think this is good or not. Most things considered, I think this is a pretty good schedule built here. And only thing I think might hurt is having Naruto, which is a show that definitely has its fan base, of course, but is kind of disliked by the diehard Toonami community that early. I don't think it's gonna turn someone off who's like, "Oh, I'm just gonna watch Suda fully coolly. Ugh, I guess I will not watch it anymore because this Naruto." I don't think that's gonna happen. And I wonder how well Boruto is going to do. It's a mixed bag. Apparently, it was not well received when it was announced. I believe at Comic Con it was announced that Boruto has come to the schedule and actually kind of got booed a bit. I think it'll do better than that. I think it's going to do better than a lot of people think it's going to do. But now to my thing about Dragon Ball Super. I believe it got put in the spot purely to prop up Fully Coolly. Fully Coolly Alternative is doing pretty well in streaming, slightly below the numbers Progressive set up, but let's be honest, those were amazing numbers. But in ratings, it's been pretty dismal. It's doing below Progressive did, roughly the same time spot. It's actually in a slightly better time spot because at this point, Progressive was still a midnight show, not even 11:30 show. So, and it's just they might be getting back their investment through streaming alone. But I think they wanted a backup strategy, so they put Super, which is the best rated show on the old block, and just pushed it in front of Alternative, hoping it would prop up those ratings. Because, like I said, if you get under point two with something you put so much money into as they put into Alternative, it's not a great site, and it's something that's got to make them cringe a bit. Attack on Titan, like I said, pushed back to midnight. I think it did because it hasn't been getting good ratings, and maybe it'll do better if it's put closer to where it used to be put. But the best stuff in the season is still upcoming, so it kind of got burdened with a very slow start to the season. So let's see where the numbers are in the future when they get to those episodes. And of course, like I said, Dragon Ball Super probably getting great ratings now because you're in the midst of the Tournament of Power. People really love that arc, and like I said, hopefully it brings up alternatives ratings as well. JoJo's still pretty early on. It got good ratings last week, actually. And then you have Black Clover, a very controversial show if you've ever paid attention to how it was interpreted on Toonami. Like, you either really, really like it because it's like a comfortable show, or you hate it because it's every single shonen Trump, Freudian slip, trope that's ever existed. Hunter x Hunter, I'm confused to why it was put later because you are getting into the meat of the series. Stuff is actually that was been put in place for the previous so many episodes is actually coming to fruition, and you're getting into the best part of the series. And it just felt like kind of a shoot, kind of maybe shooting itself in the foot by putting it a little later. It's the last new run show it's got. And then, of course, you can't say too much about the reruns in the back because they're just reruns, so you can't say about strategy. Other than, I guess, One Punch Man continuously is the best rated right now, though, so you put it up front. And I'm interested to see how many people would go back 3:30 a.m. for the old Samurai Jack. I think that's a little tactic they're going to try to do to prop up the back end the ratings, because even in days in which the front of the block does pretty well, the very black bottom kind of gets hindered. So let's see how it does there. I am Orange Cat, and that is all.